Hello everyone, welcome back. I got some new goodies in from 80pbuilder. Okay, I've done videos on these guys before, but I just wanted to give you guys an updated video. I'm still buying from them. They still got great stuff. They still got great prices. This slide that you see here, that came from 80pbuilder. Okay, and I put it on this frame here. This frame came from Gun Cuts. Okay, if you this was a custom frame, but if you send them a link to one of my videos with this, they'll know what to do for you. So I think this slide was called the Elite, right? That was the Elite one, and then I got this slide from them as well. This they called the Goon. Beautiful camel pattern. I have not seen this color pattern on their website recently, but they do have these cuts. So these cuts over here, they call the Goon. Okay, now this frame came from Arm or Ally. Okay, I got lots of frames from Arm or Ally. I really like their work. I love the artwork that they do. So I wanted to get another slide in FDE. Right, so that was my thing. I said, okay, I want to build an FDE colored gun. So I went to their site. And this one over here, they called it the JEFE, all right, and I forget what that stands for, but this is the JEFE. It's got the 4 holes over here, one big hole on the top. If you get the slide, you can get the complete slide with barrel, with sights, with internal parts for $270, and then with shipping and taxes, I think it'll come out to something like $325. But you can also get it with the frame and the internal parts for the frame, and that comes out to I think like $422, and then with the shipping it comes out to like $470. Okay, so that's a very good deal. So $470 for basically a complete gun once you finish the frame. Okay, excellent deal. And this is the frame that I just got in from them. Let's see how that's gonna match up. Okay, now I wanted an FDE colored G17. I don't know when I'm going to get around to building it. I got so many guns I have to build, and realistically, I'm more into the shooting and training part of this. That's where most of my time goes. And then once in a while, I'm like, okay, I'm in the mood to build a gun. I start, I'll work on a project like that. But especially with the frames, like I want to get all the frames I possibly can get now, so that I can be building these things into the future, okay? Because after August 2022, okay, it's going to become a lot harder, a lot more difficult to get these unserialized frames without having to go through a background check. Okay, now I don't exactly know how that's going to end up through the courts and maybe through negotiations, between between Palmer 80 and the government. So I don't know where that's going to end up. I'm gonna go on the assumption that I won't be able to get these, and I'm gonna get them all now. Okay, so and that's what I advise you guys do: get all of these now, the frames. Okay, the slides and the other parts you will be able to buy later. Okay, next year, the year after that, you'll be able to get these because they're not gonna be banning or restricting these. So the pressure is to get as many frames as you can now. However, if if money's not the issue, or you don't have to worry about budgeting yourself. These 80pbuilder has some beautiful slides. Okay, beautiful. Now, any slides you buy, make sure that they are optic cut. The nice thing about 80pbuilder, they sell the slides with the plate on here. So if you don't want to immediately mount an optic, you can put the plate on here. Just use the iron sights that they give you, and at some point down the road you can put the optic on here. Okay, so to me, buying basically, don't buy any slides, don't buy any guns, any pistols rather, unless they will take an optic, because it's kind of like pistols today are like where AR-15s were like 15 years ago. 15 years ago, it's like maybe half the AR sold, half of them had a fixed carry handle on them, the other half came with a Picatinny rail, and people were debating the value of optics on ARs 15 years ago. Well, at this point, that debate's been settled. Okay, pretty much like 98, 99% of people will tell you that, let's say 98% of people will tell you that ARs with optics are better. The 1% maybe has never tried optics, and the other 1% is just like, like hardcore traditionalists, and that's fine, But the point is that the majority of the people today recognize that AR-15s with optics are better. Okay, so pistols today are where AR-15s were 15 years ago, where people are still debating the value of optics on pistols. So in my opinion, 15 years from now, okay, pistols with that don't have optics on them will be considered either antiques or junk. Okay, so don't put yourself in a position where you don't have choices. Get a slide. If you're buying guns, buy guns that will take an optic, so you have the option later on of putting the optic on it. Okay. So to that point, 80pbuilder, beautiful slides, ready to take an optic. And the nice thing about these is they're armor cut, so this is like the most popular optic footprint. And they have the optic posts in the front here that go into the optic, and what that does is it takes the stress off the screws on the recoil. Okay, so with this gun over here, and also this gun over here, when you fire this gun, because there's like these little posts that go up into the optic, the stress is not going on the screws, it goes on the posts, which are fixed, basically part of the slide. Okay, so it transfers the recoil stress to the slide, not to the screws that hold the optic in place. And once I zero these guns in, I mean, like this one's, I think it's well past, at this point it's well past 5,000 rounds. I got other ones that are past 10,000 rounds. I never have to re-zero the optic unless I remove it and put it back on. Okay, so with the optic posts, these things will hold zero. Okay, so like I said, check out 80pbuilder. I don't get paid for them or anything like that. I'm just trying to get as many people building as possible, and get as many of these, done or bought at least before the August 2022 deadline. If you guys haven't heard, I'm sure you guys have heard, but in case anybody hasn't heard, the government is trying to ban these frames. Okay, initially they were talking about banning the slides as well, but right now they're saying that after August 2022, you will not be able to buy these 80% frames unless they're serialized and go through an FFL and you get a background check. Okay, now some people are debating whether the language of the ruling is that if it's specifically the kits that include the complete gun, right? Slide, frame, barrel, internal parts, everything, right? So some people are saying that the ruling just includes, it just covers complete build kits, all right, what the ATF calls buy, build, shoot kits. Other people are saying that it's just that it also applies to the frames, all right. So you won't be able to get an 80% frame at all. Okay. Other people are saying, well, no, you can, that you'll be able to buy the frame. It's just that the jig and the tools have to be sold separate. And quite honestly, I don't know it. These companies have contacted the ATF asking for clarification, right? And the ATF is not giving them that clarification. And the reason is they're trying to keep their options open, right? They want to be able to, come August or November or whenever, they want to be able to kind of like see what happens with the election, right? Get a sense of what the political climate is, and make a decision at that point in time, whether it's going to be the only complete kits, if it's going to be, if it's also going to include the frames, if it's going to include the frames with the jigs and the tools, or if they're going to say, okay, all of this stuff is no longer any good. Another possibility, they might say, okay, resubmit what you're planning to sell to us for approval, right? And the problem with that is if companies have to resubmit for approval, chances are they're going to come back and they're going to say, okay, well, you see all this stuff in here, all that has to be filled out, and now this needs to be, milled out, which is a lot more difficult, involves a lot more work. So that's what's going on with this, as far as I can read it. Companies are asking the ATF for clarification. ATF is not giving clarification because they want to keep their options open, gauge what the political climate's going to be come November, and then decide which direction they want to go in and how hard they want to push, and see what's going on with the courts and who's on the courts and that kind of stuff. So the best place for me to be and for you guys to be is to just buy as many of these as possible. You know, stack them up to the ceiling. Buy them in all sizes. You know, G17, G19, G26, G, the G43. Get them all. Get them in different colors. You know, this way you've got options. You know, you'll be building for years, right? I'm in no rush to go and build this one that I just bought here. I mean, I've got plenty of guns to shoot, right? I'm in no rush to build this. This is basically just going to go into a closet now. And at some point in the future, when I feel like building, I'll pull, I'll look through my closet, right? And I'll see what color I feel like building, and I'll build it, okay? So I want to have that luxury. I want to have the option to build whenever I want to build, whatever I want to build. So I'm kind of planting the seeds now by buying this stuff, okay? So let me know what you guys think. If you've got any other places where you'd like to buy these things, or if you're seeing a great deal anywhere. Also, make sure you guys are subscribed to my Facebook page, right? I got a P80 building page. It's called Building Polymer 80s Before August 2022 Deadline, okay? Building Polymer 80s Before August 2022 Deadline. And the great thing about that is that if you're building this and you're having a problem, you can come over there, you can ask questions, you can upload a short video, and not only am I going to see it, but I got over 1,000 members in there that are also going to see it, and they're all going to start giving you advice on what to do. And then I can post links to videos. Other people will post links from videos, so you're going to get a lot of help. Okay, and you should get in there now, because depending on what's going on with Facebook and the censorship, if at some point I see that that they start going against, they start shutting down these Facebook groups, right? These Polymer 80 building Facebook groups. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change the name of the group, right? So it doesn't say Polymer 80 anywhere in the title. And then what I'm also going to do is I'm going to make it a secret group, so that people looking, so unless you're already a member, you're not going to be able to find it. This way, it will be harder for Facebook to basically delete the group, because they've done that with a lot of these building groups. Once they get to a certain point, they grow to a certain size. It seems like somewhere between like 15,000 and 20,000 members, they get shut down. Okay, so I'm definitely planning to make this a secret group at some point. So you need to get in there now, get yourself, become a member. So this way you're in there, even if you're planning to build later on. Get in there now, because later on you may not be able to find the group. Okay, so right now it's Building Polymer 80s Before August 2022 Deadline. I'll talk to you all soon.